Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day. Heidi, do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Oh, I thought you'd never asked. Let's do the whole darn weekend. Saturday, the 22nd of February, National California Day. Also National Cook a Sweet Potato Day and National Margarita Day.
I love margaritas.
So bonus points if you're drinking a margarita, eating a sweet potato, and doing it
in California.
23rd on Sunday, National Banana Bread Day. National
Yum.
Dog Biscuit Day. You think your dad's going to celebrate? Her dad, for some reason, has decided that eating dog biscuits ain't so bad. And National Tile Day. All of those things happening on this weekend edition of the John and Heidi Show. We also have Jordan Goodman. He is America's Money Answers Man. We're going to be chatting with him this weekend as well to get all caught up on what's going on in the financial world. That's all on the way. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.
Student loan debt is out of control for many people. Are you one of them? The average graduate walks away with anywhere from $25,000 to $40,000 in student loans. Believe it or not, 2% even manage to owe over $100,000 by the time they graduate. If you have several different student loans, let us consolidate them into one loan and one payment at singlestudentloan.com. If you have only one student loan, we may be able to offer you a better rate to help you get that loan paid off sooner at singlestudentloan.com. That's singlestudentloan.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. A survey from OkCupid found a 187% rise in the amount of political discussions on their dating app. Keep in mind, this is a dating app. What does that have to do with politics? Well, 72% of women said they could not date a man who has opposing political views.
I would agree with that.
I could see where that is, because
couldn't.
I know some people who are married to each other who disagree politically, and it always seems contentious.
We had opposing political views when we first got together.
Yeah, I was right and you were wrong.
Yes,
and now
you were.
you're right
and
too.
I have, yes, agreed.
Oh, wow, really?
You switched me.
Holy cow, I can't believe she actually
I
agrees
can't believe
with me.
I was very wrong.
Yeah, well, anywho, you know.
Now I'm very right.
Well, you know. I've got a link to this survey if you want to get all the details. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
When was the last time you got a new credit card? If you have a card that's been in your purse or wallet for a long time, you should check and see if you're getting the best rates. You may find a better credit card that will give you the points you want or cashback options you don't get right now. At BetterCreditCards.com, you see all the major credit card companies and their best offers. Let them compete to earn your business. And if the one you have right now is better, keep it. Find a card that's a better fit for you at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com.
This is Your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by Time4Rehab.com. A Florida teacher has been busted for trying to get drugs delivered to her while she was teaching at an elementary school.
Okay, that's classy.
First grader, 43-year-old Valerie Lee Prince, called her dealer, asked her to bring an 8-ball of meth to Jacksonville Heights
You mean
Elementary
a first grade
School.
Teacher?
Yeah.
You said first grader called her dealer.
No, I was talking about first grade teacher.
She's first
43.
grade teacher. Okay.
Yeah, she's 43. She said she was willing to abandon her class to collect it.
Yikes.
Says, if you call me, I can just say I have to use the phone real quick. I could step out and come right back in, she told the dealer, who, by the way, was an informant who worked with police.
Super
and recorded
classy.
The call. They suggested that she planned to consume some of the narcotics and then return to the classroom. So, yeah, that's not good. Mm-mm. She should not be teaching, I can tell you that.
Doesn't it just terrify you? Think the thought of sending your children to school anymore?
That is very scary. I have a link to this story if you want to read all the details. She got in trouble for possessing meth, a felony, and some other stuff. It's what happens when your brain is on drugs. Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. We mentioned this earlier. It was called The Call of the Wild, the movie, and you were asking me about that. Harrison Ford. It says Harrison Ford's film adaptation of The Call of the Wild hits theaters this weekend. When we were talking about
Is he in it or is he directing?
I don't know. Probably in it, but it could be a cartoon for all I know. I have no idea. I do have a link to
older,
it.
So I
have a link to the story if you want to read it. Katie Holmes' film, The Brahms Boy, hit theaters Thursday. It's about a young boy who becomes friends with a talking doll after his family moves into a new home. I believe it's based on a true story.
Okay.
Probably not. And then the new James Bond film, No Time to Die, has scrapped their Chinese premiere because of the coronavirus. It's interesting that the title of the movie is No Time to Die.
Right.
And all this stuff is going on. So that's just bizarre. A lot of not very good jokes online about that. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
It's a new year. Have you made a resolution to quit drinking or to finally get away from drugs for good? These are both habits that are hard to kick, but you can do it. We want to help you. TimeForRehab.com is here to help you find the help you need with your particular situation. If you want to make this year the year you get the help you need to live a normal life again, start with a little help from us at TimeForRehab.com. That's TimeForRehab.com.
Now your scoop of the day, brought to you by FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. Nick Cannon says he does not believe in marriage after his divorce from Mariah Carey. Well, Nick, let me tell you something. Whether you believe in marriage or not, it does exist. I have one and have been very happy for 20 years.
20 years.
So,
but you've been divorced, and you also did not believe in marriage after the divorce.
But I think it's weird for him to say, I don't believe in marriage. Okay, you didn't believe in your marriage. So there's a lot of good marriages out there.
I think he means I don't want to get married again.
Okay,
because
well then say that.
But you said the same thing.
I said I will never get married again.
Yes,
and
you
I
did.
said that the same day I met Heidi. And
yes, you did.
Now we've been married for 20 years. God has got a great sense of humor. Utah man was arrested for releasing rodents in hotel rooms in order to get free stays from the management. Caused a lot of damage. Got in a lot of trouble.
You know, the idea was good.
It
But
was this whole thing. Don't do that. Whole thing was a bad plan. A Rhode Island man was charged with 2 different DUIs last week on Valentine's Day. So I guess it was like a little over a week ago.
That's something that I don't even joke about because
No, it's not.
I've lost cousins to a drunk
2
driver.
cousins
It's
who
horrible.
died because of a drunk driver. So don't do that. Ever, 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 ever. Bad idea. Over 5,000 people attended Japan's annual Naked Festival. They were expecting 10,000 people, but they had 5,000 people show up. Maybe if you hold the Naked Festival at a warmer time of the year.
I was going to say, maybe it was a little cold.
Yeah, maybe that's why you got the shrinkage in the attendance there. In the attendance, they were expecting 10,000. Oh, Heidi. And they got 5,000.
That's fantastic.
Hong Kong police are looking for a group of armed robbers who stole hundreds of rolls of toilet paper from a store. Yeah.
Have you bought toilet paper lately?
Yeah,
I
but
totally
still
get
wouldn't.
that crime.
I wouldn't steal it. I don't think that makes any sense. A growing number of singles are signing up for speed dating events because they're tired of online dating apps. So they sit down at a table, they look at each other, and they're like, next. And like, are we going to even talk first? Or like, nah, we don't need to.
I can see how those would work, though. I knew right away when I met you.
Yeah.
Right away.
You're like, this is the man I want to drive crazy for the rest of my
That's
life.
right. I did. I knew right away.
Did you really?
Yep. I
what
went
was
home.
it about me that made you just know it for
I don't
sure?
know. I just knew. I felt like I had known you my whole life.
I've kind of felt
That's
that
what
way
it was.
too. It was like,
So
have we met
and
before?
I went home and I told my cousin who was babysitting my son. I said I met the man I'm going to marry.
Yeah.
That
And
very
then-
night that I met you.
And then she did. She married me.
I did.
She's holding me hostage, actually.
I clubbed
so-
him over the head. I drug him home.
Yes. I've been trying to get away for 20 years.
Chained him to the water heater, and we've been happy ever since.
Okay, none of that part's true, but the other part is. And our final story, an Indiana man with the words crime pays tattooed on his face has been arrested twice since December for drug possession and resisting arrest. So, yeah, crime apparently doesn't pay.
It does when you're paying for bail.
Yeah, it's a bad idea. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Student loan debt is out of control for many people. Are you one of them? The average graduate walks away with anywhere from $25,000 to $40,000 in student loans. Believe it or not, 2% even manage to owe over $100,000 by the time they graduate. If you have several different student loans, let us consolidate them into one loan and one payment at singlestudentloan.com. If you have only one student loan, we may be able to offer you a better rate to help you get that loan paid off sooner at singlestudentloan.com. That's singlestudentloan.com.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. About once a month, we reach out and talk to our good friend, Jordan Goodman. He is America's Money Answers Man, and we talk to him about all kinds of financial things. And we've got him on the line right now. Mr. Goodman, how are you, sir?
Great to be with you, John.
Always a pleasure to chat with you. And I've been on the new and improved website, moneyanswers.com. This thing looks really, really sharp. But let's talk a little bit today. We were chatting ahead of time here about the way that they're calculating our credit score is changing, and this can be good or it can be bad. Tell me a little more about that.
Major changes just announced for the so-called FICO score, which is the Fair Isaac Company score. That's the main score that determines what kind of interest rates you get. Are you approved for loans? It even impacts your car insurance rates. They look more at your credit score than they do your driving record, so it has all kinds of implications on you. So here are some of the major changes that FICO is putting into effect. The first one is your FICO score is now going to be based more on how you've used credit in the last 2 years instead of just your current situation. In the past, it's kind of like been a snapshot of where you stand today, but now they want to see a longer history of what's been going on over the last 2 years. So that's the first thing. Second thing, if you take out personal loans, that's going to be given greater weight in your score negatively than if you have credit card debt. So pay off some credit cards with personal loans. That in itself is going to hurt your credit score. The third one is that missing payments are going to have an even bigger impact on your score. So if you've fallen behind in your payments, your score is going to drop a lot more sharply than it did in the past. So you really got to make sure those payments are made because it's going to hit your score pretty hard. The fourth one is what's known as the utilization rate, which is how much of the credit you have available, your credit lines, are you actually using. If that gets very high, if you're using a lot of your outstanding credit, that's going to hurt your score more heavily. If you use it less, that's going to help your score. Now, FICO estimates that about 80 million Americans will see their credit scores move up or down by 50 points or more based on these criteria. About 100 million Americans, their scores will move up or down by 20 points because it's not going to affect them that much. But a lot of people it's going to affect. And basically the people who are behind or not treating their credit well are going to have their scores drop pretty sharply, John.
So this is something that you're going to want to kind of get ahead of. And I'm glad that you were talking about the difference between having credit card debt and if you have a loan, because I know there are some companies that say, hey, you should get a loan to fix that credit card debt. But you're saying that could actually be a bad thing now.
It will hurt your credit score if you get a consolidation loan to pay off credit card debt. That's correct. Because what a lot of people do, John, is they get a consolidation loan, pay off the credit cards, and now the credit cards are free and they just spend them right up again. Right? So it kind of frees you to get into even more trouble. So I think that's why the credit agencies are kind of, worry about that.
So
there's some things you could do. Go ahead.
I'm saying, would it make more sense if you have a credit card that has room on it to put everything on the one card, or does that not even make sense?
Well, if you did that, that means your utilization of that card would be very high. You're using up most of the credit line. It would actually be better to spread your debt over several credit cards so your utilization of each individual card is not as high, if you see what I mean. So if you're using 90% of the outstanding credit on a credit card, that's going to hurt you in this new scheme. It's already hurt you some, but it's going to hurt you even more.
Well, I'm sure there are going to be people with questions. If they would like to reach out to you, how do they get a hold of you if they want to find out the best thing for their personal situation?
So my website, moneyanswers.com, has a lot of information on this area. One resource that can help people is called creditblueprint.info. And what they do is they'll go over your credit situation, get rid of errors. There are a lot of errors in these reports. Get your score up that way. In many cases, John, the errors are not because of anything you did wrong, but you might have been hit by ID theft or confused with somebody else. So you got to make sure these errors are off there because it's going to hurt you even more now that these FICO scores are going to be changing like this. So I've got lots of resources and help in the credit and debt section of moneyanswers.com, and I'm always glad to get emails from your listeners as I get them all the time.
Is there a link to that credit blueprint on your site?
Absolutely. If you look under the Resource Center and then you look under Credit, you'll see a resource to right there and a link to it, and you can find out what they do and how they can help you. A lot of people don't really stay on top of their credit scores and reports, and then when they need a loan, like a car loan or something like that, all of a sudden it's like, my score shouldn't be that low. Well, that's not the place to fix it up. You got to fix it up before you apply for a loan.
Absolutely. Well, Jordan, thank you so much for taking some time to chat with us today.
Very good. Glad to help anytime, John.
Again, the website that you can go to that has a ton of resources is Jordan's website. That is moneyanswers.com. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
Do you have a lucky shirt? FunkyMonkeyShirts.com has several lucky shirts to wear next month for St. Patrick's Day. Or if it's a really lucky shirt, you can wear it every day. Green shirts, 4-leaf clovers, Irish sayings, and more. Don't wait. If you order your lucky shirt right now, it can be here in time to wear for St. Patrick's Day. Find t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, and more at FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. That's FunkyMonkeyShirts.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Riding a roller coaster can help you pass a kidney stone. It says
Really?
after multiple people reported they passed a kidney stone while riding Disney World's Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, a research team from Michigan State decided to investigate the phenomenon. In 2016, they conducted tests with a model kidney, and they found there were 64% kidney stone pass rates for those seated in the rear of the ride.
Really?
16% for you up front. So if you want to pass a kidney stone, back of the bus for you, or what is it? Not a bus. What is this thing called? Roller coaster.
Awfully expensive to get there to do that if you don't live in the area.
Or just, can you use your insurance for that? No? All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
When was the last time you got a new credit card? If you have a card that's been in your purse or wallet for a long time, you should check and see if you're getting the best rates. You may find a better credit card that will give you the points you want or cashback options you don't get right now. At bettercreditcards.com, you see all the major credit card companies and their best offers. Let them compete to earn your business. And if the one you have right now is better, keep it. Find a card that's a better fit for you at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Now, a news headline from somewhere in this world. Dateline China. Guess what? It's not even about the coronavirus, Heidi.
Ooh.
I mean, it's a first for me. Dateline China. A restaurant owner in China was trying to figure out who was stealing his supplies. So he secretly installed a video camera, and he caught his landlord eating food after hours in the nude.
Oh, man.
I don't know exactly what's going on there, but yeah, so now...
What a great story. Thank you for sharing that. That's
Exactly.
fantastic.
Yeah, you're welcome. No coronavirus included. Thanks for listening to news headlines from somewhere in this world.
It's a new year. Have you made a resolution to quit drinking or to finally get away from drugs for good? These are both habits that are hard to kick, but you can do it. We want to help you. TimeForRehab.com is here to help you find the help you need with your particular situation. If you want to make this year the year you get the help you need to live a normal life again, start with a little help from us at TimeForRehab.com. That's TimeForRehab.com.
Now, some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. Police in Florida are investigating the gruesome discovery of a jar of human tongues in a person's home in their crawl space.
Oh, my.
This story came out during this last week. You haven't seen this online anywhere?
I haven't.
I saw a couple of different people. It says the preserved tongues were found during an inspection of the foundation of a home in Gainesville, Florida.
Oh, my goodness.
Which was previously owned by Ronald Bauman, former University of Florida researcher. Some of the jars go all the way back to the 1960s. Now, investigators are looking into what was going on exactly, but he said he published studies that may have brought the tongues home as part of his work. Currently, he's a professor emeritus at the university. Added in 1988, Abstract Journal of Oral and Maxillofacial Surgery, posted on the medical research site Scientific Direct. I don't know if any of that makes any sense. That he was involved in a case of oral squamous cell carcinoma in twins. I don't know what any of that means.
Where in the world is he getting these out of cadavers?
Yeah, apparently he was doing a study on the effects of different things on tongues and maybe forgot those in the crawl space. I don't know. I've got a link to the story. The entire thing confuses me. I don't even know if I said all those words right. Or in the right order. So I have no clue. It's definitely today's weird news.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, brought to you by SingleStudentLoan.com. You thought your worst first date story was bad. A Massachusetts woman became an unexpected getaway driver when she met a man on a dating app, and he robbed a bank on their first date.
I saw this. This is horrible.
Yeah, Christopher Castillo, the unnamed woman, was the Robin Hood who, kind of helped with the getaway. So I don't quite understand. It says 3 counts of assault and battery on a police officer. This all happened on their first date. According to the district's attorney's office, Castillo was sentenced to 3 years in state prison for the robbery, plus 2 years in the House of Corrections for violent struggle and spitting on a police officer who tried to subdue him. The woman was not charged, but she does say this was probably the worst date story ever.
Oh, for sure. So did they both get away and then she turned him in later?
I'm not really sure.
Or
I've got a link to the
were
story.
they caught and she's like, I don't even know this guy.
I have no idea.
Said he was going to go to the ATM and he came out with a bag of
Can you
cash.
even imagine?
I know, right?
The whole thing is so
That'll be
weird.
horrible.
It's today's moment of duh.
When was the last time you got a new credit card? If you have a card that's been in your purse or wallet for a long time, you should check and see if you're getting the best rates. You may find a better credit card that will give you the points you want or cashback options you don't get right now. At bettercreditcards.com, you see all the major credit card companies and their best offers. Let them compete to earn your business. And if the one you have right now is better, keep it. Find a card that's a better fit for you at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Now, fake news or Florida? This is where I read a little story, and I ask my beautiful bride, Heidi, to tell me, is this a true story from the great state of Florida?
I'm ready.
Or is it hashtag fake news made up just to trick you? All right, you ready?
I am.
Fake news or Florida? A Tampa man filed a false tax report and was busted after the IRS sent him a $980,000 refund. Fake news or Florida?
Fake news.
No, true story.
Seriously?
Yeah, so he filed a tax report saying, oh, you guys owe me some money.
We can't get a $5 refund, and this dude got $980,000.
So I think we need to just move a decimal point or something.
Jeez.
Something wrong. But he did get arrested. He's in prison, so maybe we should just do it right.
But his bills are paid. He's got a roof over his head. He's got food. Just saying.
3 square
might
meals
not
a
be
day.
so bad.
He's got a lot of new friends.
Exercise equipment.
All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. Here's the headline. 79-year-old dancing cop brings smiles to people in New Jersey.
Aww.
A traffic control officer. He's been keeping the people in New Jersey safe and smiling for more than 5 decades. Ed Butch Larkin, also known as the Dancing Cop. He's 79. He started working at the intersection of Scotland Road and South Orange Avenue at the age of 23.
Aww.
And he's now 79. He says, I do all kinds of moves. Left, right, around the back. I do everything. Like he said, I give 110% when I go out there. Everybody recognizes him when they come to town, and people look forward to it. He says he's going to continue to dance, and I'm going to continue to give 110%. He says, then I'll have to retire someday. Hopefully that is no time soon.
79, and he's
79.
still...
And he's like, I don't want to retire.
That's fantastic.
I just want to keep on dancing and
He's
having
probably
fun.
still working because he does move around so much.
Absolutely. There's some
Yeah.
truth to that. Because I'm telling you right now, I am not 79. I don't think I could do what he's doing.
I know.
Dance all day.
I
But,
know, me either.
It's a cool story. I've got a link to that in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.